Anyway, my name's Dave Mason. I'm with Grand Canyon Title. I'm a title rep. And first, I just want to thank everyone who's on this webinar for showing up. It's probably going to be a little bit different than what you're used to. We're going to be talking today about context, and what does that mean? We'll get into that more. My background, I was in real estate as a realtor for 12 years. I was in lending for 7 years. I've been a geek for 25 years, which is kind of how I got to Grand Canyon Title, although I will admit when I first got the call about, would you like to be a title rep, my whole view and perception of title reps were, the people that got you the flyers and brought the food to the meeting. So I wasn't all that interested based on what I was doing at the time. And Grand Canyon was starting a whole new technology division, which once it was explained to me in the proper context, it actually made sense for me to start working at Grand Canyon. So I gotta move this thing out of the way here. Okay, so I just want to look at the definition of context first before we get started. It'll make more sense as to how that fits into a listing presentation. So context, we're defining context here to mean a fundamental set of assumptions. Assumptions that are not recognized as assumptions and go unquestioned in which the world happens. When people thought the earth was flat, an analogy that grows old but never dies, that was the context or worldview that limited perception and behavior, how these folks saw the horizon, how far toward the edge they sailed, and so on. Similarly, our way of being a man or a woman and the possibilities available to us are given by the assumptions embedded in our culture, our language, and times in which we live in. A girl born in the US today would likely inherit a very different possibility for being a woman than a girl born in the 1930s or 40s. Would she be a dot-com mogul or running for president? So, I think the key point is, the assumptions that were given. I look back at my real estate career, and there was just a certain set of assumptions that were, that were given to us or given to me, like about how you actually did real estate. And, with the new technology, to me, there's a lot more available in going about doing your business. I hear someone pounding on a keyboard. So if you can mute yourself, that'd be great. That'd be great. So anyway, there was just a certain set of context that there was a certain context that we were given. We didn't have any choice about it. That's just the way it was. So I do want to open it up to see, what you guys think might be like, what would be the given context for how real estate is done. It's just automatic. Everybody knows this is how you do it. Anybody care to share? Like for one is you have to have a flyer on the property. You might even have to put the house on tour or advertise. And that's something that everybody's doing. So what I'm talking about is creating a new context in which to operate. Now a context will give you a whole new future. It also gives you a whole new different set of possibilities. So the outcome of this class is to have you see new opportunities. They're probably already there in front of you, but you're just going to be looking at it in a whole different way. So you're going to start to see you're going to see new possibilities and opportunities, and you'll have results that you weren't necessarily having. And it's all just a matter of shifting how you see things, and that's what context is. Like I didn't notice how much of an American I was until I went to Ireland. I was very aware I was an American, but I was operating in a context in America called American. I just didn't see it. And I assert that the same is true for for you and your real estate business. And that's what we're really looking at here today, is creating a new context for how to operate in our business. And out of that, we'll start to get results that we weren't having or weren't available because they weren't inside of our model or context. So I know that's might be a little bit of a mouthful. Anybody have any questions?
What are we doing here?
All right. So let's. So what we're going to be talking about is a couple things, and that's, using video and using your website as a listing
This is Jim
tool.
McCroy from Ventana Fine Property, and I'd like to welcome you.
Back when I was a realtor back in the 90s, I got my listings through I used to mail 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 pieces of mail every month, and when I'd go on the listing appointments, I subscribed to Homes and Land full page color for years. So my marketing plan was mailing, and hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, how would you like to be here? And that was Homes and Land. And back then, that was the place to be. It's a lot different now. Sellers want to know how you're gonna help market the property through all of the available digital channels. How are you going to get me found in Google? So you're 50 times more likely to be on the first page of Google with a video than text. The reality is there's a battle online for property address. Zillow and Trulia and some of the other aggregators. On the left, I have just a Google results page that's actually my neighbor's house. The house is not on the market, yet I can find results in Google listed on these various aggregators. And the reason they're doing that is at some point these properties will go on the market, and they are of value to these aggregators because that's how they collect leads. If you'll notice on the right, you'll see a video that's in the results. That's how you compete with these aggregators from taking leads away from your listed properties. And doing video is very simple. We do classes at Grand Canyon. I do classes. I shoot video. Not necessarily going to talk much about how to do that, but more just the context of having video as part of your marketing program. Aside from the value and being able to share it with people, there's huge value in video from the context of being found online long after the house sells. One of the things I didn't get the benefit of all the years and thousands of dollars I spent on Homes and Land is once those went in the trash, that was it. The property videos you do today will be up for years to come. So people, well, for example here, if they're looking for a home for sale in La Glorieta and Chandler, that video is still going to come up. So, that listing agent can still get a phone call. Demonstrate your sellers with getting found in Google. Well, this is my house. I just made a quick video just to show how you can get found in Google, because people are driving around looking for properties. You want to make sure that you're there. So anyway, if I Google my own house, it comes up here. It also comes up. Applyandfly.com is a test site that I play with just to try to compete. I want to get ahead of Zillow and Trulia. So if somebody clicks, say my house is on the market, that lead's not going to go to me. It's going to go to Wells Realty Group or Sonia Berger or Vince Famusa. I don't know, it seems something wrong with that. They should be going to me. So typically when you do a video, and it's not a guarantee, but if you do a video just on your property address, you're going to get on the first page of Google. And it'll come up for a variety of results. I mean, if I even just start, people search a variety of different ways. I'm going to be in different, actually in this, I'm here. That one I didn't show up. It just depends. So just depends how someone's putting the address in. So. Any questions at this point? I know I'm going quickly, but it's let's see. Okay, so let's go back to my slides. Okay, so here we're talking about video. Next, we're going to look at how to use your website as a listing tool and demonstrate how you're going to go after web traffic in your seller's area. Now, there's a way to do that with your website, and it's the same metaphor that I used with Homes and Land to get my sellers to sign with me. Then you can do the same thing with your website, and I'm going to explain how to do that. For those of you that are I'm going to be demonstrating a WordPress website using an IDX technology. If you're from Ventana Fine Properties, your websites from your broker already have this in them. So, but I'll explain, if you're not, how you can get a system like this put together. So, basically, if you're using what you want to do is have an indexable IDX solution. And an indexable IDX solution is basically a tool, well, I think everybody knows what an IDX is, but basically with an IDX, a web surfer can search for property on your website. The one thing that they typically don't do is, they can create thousands of listings to look at on your website, but they don't do anything to bring web traffic to your website. And the reason is the data that most of them use is not in a format that Google can see. And if Google can't see it, you're not going to show up in the Google search engine. So you want to use an indexable IDX, and that just simply means that the property listings will be in a format that can show up in Google. And there are differences in indexable IDXs. I'm not going to go in too much of depth about that. There are some indexable IDX solutions that everybody's getting the same data. Technically it is indexable, but really Google's only going to reward one person because it's only going to allow one person to be relevant on the first page results. So the system I'm going to be demonstrating is unique in that it creates unique data for every person that uses it. So let's, not quite there yet. I'm just going to go back to, so the Walters Realty Group is using an indexable IDX system. So let's just let's just click on their Scottsdale listings, and I'll explain how this works. So in this results page, it's showing 2,399 pages. So every single one of these listings is visible to Google and can be found in the search engine uniquely. And I can see that this is what Google can index on this website. So somebody looking for this address can find this property on this website. Now this is significant in that as an agent, if I'm on a listing appointment, I can demonstrate to my seller, hey, this is how I'm going after properties in a specific city. Now what I would also do beyond just doing Scottsdale, I would break it down into subdivisions. So maybe, I'm trying to think of, like McDowell Mountain Ranch. I would probably have, if I worked a lot in McDowell Mountain Ranch, I would have a drop down for McDowell Mountain Ranch. So when I'm going on an interview for a listing in McDowell Mountain Ranch, I can demonstrate to the seller how I'm going to be attracting buyers for their property using the internet, using my video. And it's, again, it's a contextual thing, because keep in mind, your seller already knows what a real estate agent is going to be telling them, what they're going to be talking about. They're not used to an agent that's going to demonstrate value in getting them found in the search engines for their specific neighborhood. The other thing that we do with the video, or I have my clients do with the video, with their video, is, I'm just going to back up a little bit.
Hello, this is Jim McCroy from
So in this
Ventana
video,
Fine Properties,
got
and
Jim
I'd like to
McCroy
welcome
from
you
Ventana
to
Fine Properties.
3369.
So what I have him do is I give this link, or I tell him to give the link to the seller for this for the video that they can put in their social media channels. So the seller is going to be sending out this link to all their sphere of influence. Hey, we're selling our house. If you know anybody, please have them contact our realtor. You're already getting the social proof as an agent in their network. That's one thing when I was an agent, I could never get. Because I could never get, maybe I might have them connect with a few people, but not all of their sphere of influence in their social media channels. Very powerful. So I just wanted to leave you with that concept of, this is a short little snippet class, I call it, but I'm going to be doing concepts, a couple times a month. I'm not into, doing long drawn out seminars. It's just going to be courses that'll build upon each other, but really just designed to get you thinking about different things, different ways to be marketing, smarter ways to be marketing, leveraging the new technology. So I'm going to take questions right now about what we just talked about. I know I've been doing a lot of talking, so if you have any questions, I'd love to hear about them. So I'm going to open up the floor for questions. Anybody there? Or did I put everybody to sleep? Hello? So anyway, if you have any questions about anything I talked about today, please feel free to call me. You can reach me at 602-405-0596. That's 602-405-0596, or you can reach me at D, as in David Mason, at nuvidia.com. And I'll put my website up on the screen here. I just want to point out some classes that I have pre-recorded that I think are very valuable, just for your own education about getting found online. If you look at my tab on training programs, I've got a content writing class for realtors, very powerful, as well as an SEO training class, which will give you a lot of information about kind of how to wrap your head around what do I write about and how do I write it in a way that is going to get me the kind of traffic that I want on Google. So you can also contact me here through the website as well. So anyway, I just want to thank everybody for taking their time to be on the call or be on the class, and look forward to seeing you on the next calls.
Can you hear me, Dave?
Yes.
I had a question. I ended up unfortunately getting here late. Wondered if this was recorded that I could go through it, or on your site that I can read through it.
I'm recording it right now.
Sat here with the. Oh, you are? Great. Okay.
So, this wasn't planned necessarily being a technology class. Just starting to look at things a little bit differently. So I have some agents doing very well. I have agents that used to go on listing appointments with armfuls of papers and notebooks. All they bring now is their laptop, and they're getting listings just because they're doing video, and they can they're just talking about how they're using it, and it's just a conversation that your competition, they're just not having it, and it's very simple to implement. You don't have to, again, the goal of these, you're not going to be technology experts. You don't have to be. I don't want you to be. I just want you to be able to distinguish context. If you can do that, that's all you need to know. Grand Canyon takes care of all the video. That's what we do for our marketing. So, any other questions? All right. Well, again, I want to thank everybody for being here, and we'll be doing more just little tips and training. So I look forward to seeing everyone.
Thanks again, Dave.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, just real quick, I had someone email me about, so the IDX I was showing on the screen, you can, that is from a company called iFoundAgent, and this is more about the IDX technology. So I've got a pretty good amount of customers that use this system and are very happy with it. So anyway, have a great day, guys.